Hello and welcome back to my channel MNS Aviary. Today we have a very special person with a lot of experience, with a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge, and he has a 45 years of experience in birds and aviculture. He's been everywhere around the world and knows a lot about birds. Today we have Nigam Sir. So hello sir,
friends.
welcome to my channel. We've known each other since a long time and it's a pleasure having you on my channel. So could you just tell me about yourself and introduce yourself to the world and to our viewers, and how you've been through this journey and what all we are going to share about the birds today?
Oh, well, we'll be sharing a lot, of course. As you said, I've been in the field for 45 years. It's a long period. Yes. I remember meeting you, when you were doing your veterinary college and all that thing. Yes, when I started my journey, say 1978, that was the first time when I got my first bird.
We were not even born back then.
Okay, so it was like I was a kid then, of course. I was 13-14-year-old kid, and we had just got transferred from Porbandar to Mumbai.
Yeah.
My father was a banker, and he used to take us on Sundays and all, whenever he used to go for marketing and things like that. So one of those days he took me to Dadar, and you have a bridge there,
Yeah.
a long thing where east-west connects and all that thing. So we were just on that bridge, and I saw a guy who was holding a parrot, the green parrot, in his hand, and it had a very funny looking feathers. It had a fan of feathers.
Oh,
so
very weird.
So I was intrigued. I said, I had seen parrots, but this was something. So I said, and he was selling it. So I said, I want that. My father said, no, nothing. We have to go take this and that, and we can't have a pet in the house, as it is. Who is going to look after it? So I said, no, I want it. So I cried, and but nothing happened. He was not moved. We went back home, and then that whole week, like I used to throw tantrums at every small thing, I told my mother I need to have that parrot. The females, they always have a softer
Always.
So she said, okay, I'll talk to your father. So next Sunday, off we went. I got my parrot with this fancy tail feathers, But when I got it home, it had that feather. But after a week, they started straightening out.
Oh. So they were molded by the seller.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's for the sake of it. But in those days, what was the price we paid?
Must be in what, pesas?
Not pesos, but parrot was costing around 7-8 rupees, and
My
you had
God.
those round cages.
The classics.
Small classic ones, the smaller ones.
Okay.
So around 15 rupees. We
15
the
at that
key-
point of time must
was
be a
big
lot.
amount. Yeah, it was a big amount because salaries were like 600, 500,
Definitely, yes,
sort of
yes.
a thing. So, but anyway, I got my parrot, and then of course I used to feed and all that thing, and of course one day it flew away.
Oh my God.
But that was not the end of the journey, as you know. Like you have
Definitely.
seen
कीड़ा
with
तो
me.
लग गया है.
Yeah, एक बार वो काटा तो फिर जिंदगी
There's
भर
no
का.
going back.
Yes. So next year, and then I used to go to Bandra very often, and they had some pet shops. 3-4 pet shops were there.
During that time?
Yeah, on SV Road.
Okay.
We had them. Crawford Market, of course, were a very big thing, But even here, they used to have good collection of birds. I mean, in those days, we used to have Indian birds, like mynas. And
Oh, they used to sell mynas back then?
Yes. Grackles were very common.
Okay.
And beautiful looking birds, and but in those days the laws were not that strict. Nobody knew that these are Indian species, and you can. Of course, the law was passed in 1972.
Huh.
But nobody bothered. And we knew that these
It
are
was the
birds.
aviculture was not that active back then.
Yes,
It
correct.
was just couple of houses had their birds as pets. They were
Mostly
not
people-
breeding as such.
No, not breeding.
Breeding was not happening
Yes,
back
yes.
then.
They were kept as pets. You know, Maina was a very good talker, so
Yes.
it used to be a talker.
People don't know that the Maina is a typically Mainas are very best talkers.
Yes, Mainas are very good talkers. In fact, our common Maina, they are such good talkers. You know, I don't know if you have seen one of the videos.
We have seen a lot. They are there on YouTube as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, correct. So Mainas make very good talkers. So in those days, we used to get hill Mainas
Okay.
from Assam and all. Of course, I don't know how they landed. So probably through
Smuggling,
Calcutta.
of course. no?
Yeah, Calcutta, and because Calcutta is the hub. Even today, it remains so.
It does.
Yeah, so it remains so. So that time, we had red evidibits, then green munias. Oh, they were my favorites. I've kept almost all Indian species which were available at that point in time.
Definitely, yes.
I knew nothing about the law, what it was, and even nobody, not even shopkeepers were bothered.
Definitely, the officials weren't that active back then.
Correct. So plum heads were there. Then what you have, mustache parakeets used to be available. Then ringnecks, of course. But the most popular were Alexandrians in those days. Yeah.
Pahadi, which they call it.
Pahadi. And they were also known as Nepali. I think.
Oh.
I don't know why they called it Nepali, because it was Pahadi.
Pahad se aa rahe.
So Pahad se aa rahe, so Nepali and all that thing was there. So that was like a different era altogether. Things have changed a lot over a period of time.
Yes.
Now you don't get to see any of those.
We hardly get to see any mustaches nowadays.
No, mustache.
Mustaches completely disappeared. They must be there in some conservation center or something. But
Yeah, you can see them in some of the zoos. Last time I was in Baroda Zoo, I saw them.
Okay.
They had a few specimens, but somehow their displays. I don't know. I mean, see, I've got nothing against the law, but more number of zoos, or rather, law should be such that Indian people should be able to see what they have.
definitely, yes.
This complete ban is something.
Complete
which,
ban is bad. Actually, conservation centers and zoos are supposed to
Correct.
be there for native
Yes,
species so
yes.
that people can
and they
come and
should be
appreciate them.
displayed, and people should be made aware of their status and all that thing.
That is the focus of zoo, by the way. And people have some other intentions regarding zoo. They are caged and everything.
Correct.
The-
Instead of I don't know. I mean, recently I heard that they are planning to look at the 1972 Act,
Okay.
and I really don't know. I mean,
Review it?
Somebody, the department is looking into it. The wildlife people are looking into it. Let's see. Hopefully,
Hopefully it works.
yeah, it should.
Nice. That is a very great history of yours. And हमारे जैसे ही आप भी बजिस से ही
Yeah, in
स्टार्ट
fact,
किए रहेंगे.
yeah. In fact, I started. Yes, I was at that. 1979. I bought a first pair of budgies. They were
He
beautiful.
remembers all his dates. Guys, point to be noted, he remembers
Yes,
the
yes,
year he
yes,
got his
yeah,
first
yeah,
budgies.
yeah,
That is the
yeah.
passion he follows.
Budgies were also, in those days, not very expensive. I think a pair of budgies which I got cost me around 12 rupees. Of course, once I lost that single parrot, I started saving all my money. Whatever little pocket money I used to get. Plus, the major part came from, Diwali Bakshis.
Diwali Bakshis, definitely, yes.
Because your grandparents and your uncles, they are,
We save up for
very
it.
generous
Yes.
on that day. So everything, sab jama karke, then of course I got a pair of budgies, beautiful dilutes. I did not know at that point in time that they are called dilutes, but they were beautiful looking birds. They started breeding with me. And of course, thereafter I kept different species over a period of time. So maybe I have had about a dozen or more species.
Oh, wow.
Over a period of time, and a number of varieties, of course, because I was interested in genetics, so I kept. But yes, what helped me most was my association with my guru, whom I call founder of Ahmedabad Zoo, and I always remained indebted to him and my father, of course, because when my father saw that I am interested in this birds and animals and things like that, so he said, you must go and meet Reuben David. So at that point in time, I did not know who Reuben David was. But then he took me, he said, come. So we went to Ahmedabad Zoo. The zoo is around 35 acres. You know?
That is very huge.
Huge.
Could you just name the zoo in Ahmedabad?
Ahmedabad Zoo is known as the Kamala Nehru Zoo.
Kamala Nehru Zoo in Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
Spread across 35 acres.
35 acres.
Everybody should go.
Beautiful
Maybe
place. If you are in Ahmedabad, friends, do visit it. Now they've got, I think, nocturnal safari also. So some of the animals which you can only see at night, owls and some of the even mammals species. You can see Dr. Sahu is a good friend.
Dr. Sahu.
Yeah, he's in charge of the zoo.
Okay.
So in those days, Ahmedabad Zoo used to have a very large collection of albino animals.
Albino?
Largest in the world.
Oh.
Albino black buck, albino chinkara, albino deer, common deer, then albino porcupines, albino snakes, number of them were there. So he used to collect, and we had the largest number of albino animals in the world
Back then.
Ahmedabad Zoo.
Superb.
Yeah. So we used to call him Dada, and I used to spend most of my vacations with him. Of course, I must have, when I was introduced to him, I must have been around 17, 18. And I had written something in the newspaper about the zoo and all that thing. So he was very impressed. He said, we have got a bright future. And I wanted to take up, zookeeping as my profession. He said, so please don't do that. So then you start with birds. That's how I, concentrated on birds.
Okay.
So he had an extensive library, very huge library. And in those days, we had almost all the species that we see today in private collections. He used to breed them in those days. Wow. Princess of Wales parakeet, then macaws, all 3-4 species.
Princess of Wales, we are struggling to breed Princess of Wales nowadays.
Yeah, he used to breed them. And he had a large collection of pheasants. Beautiful pheasants. You should see Palawan peacock. Beautiful. Small bird, but with, exactly feathers.
Tiny
like
eye spots.
Tiny eye spots. And beautiful.
Peacock pheasant, it is also known as peacock pheasant.
And there are 3 or 4 species.
Yeah, yes,
of
there
the
is.
same. So he had about 2 or 3 of them. Beautiful one. He had clouded leopards.
Oh my God.
And she was pregnant. I was privileged guy, coming from Bombay and taking so much interest, spending so much time with him. So I was a privileged kid. So one day, and he used to, take a round of the whole zoo, complete zoo. He used to take a round. And he would know, what's happening with this particular animal or this pair, it's breeding, not breeding. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah. Some 3,000 animals and details about each one of them. Asking the right question and all that thing. But he had a very good aviculturist. His name was Babu Bhai.
Babu Bhai, back then.
Back then.
Is he still there around us?
I don't think, I haven't
Been in contact?
Been in contact for a long time now. But there's an interesting story about this Babu Bhai. Kakaria in those days used to be, very out of town, sort of on the edge of the town thing, and all unruly elements used to go and stay in that. It was a forested patch, so couples used to go there and sit there, and a typical thing which happens. So this guy used to cut their pockets, and so he was that undesirable sort of an element in that society. So, and zoo at that time, when it started, it was very small. They started just with chickens.
Oh, a zoo with chickens.
Only chicken, because they had no budget, nothing.
Definitely.
And Ahmedabad at that time had a corporators which were who were largely, from the Jain group. So no wild animals. You could not, give them non-vegetarian food, all those sorts. But then we gradually overcame all those obstacles. Yeah? So he was then, police were taking them, and Reuben David saw that. This guy will take it. So what happened? He's an undesirable element and troubles people who come to the lake and all that thing. So I said, okay, bring him to my office, talk to him, why are you doing this? And all that thing. I said, I don't have any job. He says, okay, I'll offer you a job here. So that's how, he
got into this.
He got into this, and he became one of the finest aviculturists. See, he was not literate or anything. But to be a good aviculturist, or you don't need to be very literate or anything.
Definitely, yeah. It's all about practice.
Yeah. And he used to say that, okay, this year I have bred, 150 silver pheasants. So my mind, so what would you do? Well, yeah, we give it to different zoos, so that was the whole thing. So that's how, and then, of course, after reading so much, it got systematized. I got interested in genetics. Budgerigar, 1986, my father gave me, again, he was a very kind person, and he gave me membership of British Council Library.
Okay.
It used to cost a lot, from 400, 500 rupees was the membership.
That is super privilege.
Yeah. So he said, okay, since you like reading and all that thing, I had scored some good marks in my 12th examination. And so he said, okay, as an incentive, I'm giving you this membership. So he got me this membership, and I started reading books. And British Council, they ask you, you would like any specific books to be ordered when they order the book.
Oh.
So I used to, tell them that, okay, I want to read this book, I want to read. And of course, one or two from your choice, they would definitely get. So I saw Budgerigar, and they book on Budgerigar, and I said, I would like to, have something more on this. So we'll see. Then they got another book in which the standard was published. Like, they have those shows abroad, Budgerigar shows, where, the neck should be like this, the head should be like this, the carriage should be like this, all that thing. So there was a beautiful specimen of a green Budgerigar. So I said, ye hum log kar. So 86, 87, I started the project. I got 3 types of budgies, green ones, with good spots and everything. I started breeding them. And eventually, I did manage to get 2 or 3 pairs which were true breeding. Every time they would throw, similar looking. It was impossible to distinguish which one is which one.
Okay.
That is what a good stud is actually. So that project continued up to 92 or 93. 93 when I got married and all that. Then it was too much, my neighbors started complaining, I'm 300 budgies, what are you doing?
300 budgies?
Yeah. So, cacophony was like, so my father also said, see, okay, you are interested, but you keep 2-3 pairs, and this is too much.
Definitely, yes.
Then I went and sold the complete stock to, I don't know,
including
if you remember a guy called Douglas Marquis. Douglas Marquis, he was known as Dougie, very popular figure in Bandra. And that seafront in Bandra from Sea Rock Hotel and all that thing. So he used to fly buggy for children. He had a small pony and a buggy, and he would display all his birds, cockatiels and budgies and finches and all that thing on the side of the buggy, and children would love that. But of course, after that, that Ahimsa people and all that got involved, and that had to stop, right? Horses were no more allowed to fly. But those were good old days. At that time, he used to tell me that Dhirubhai Ambani's son and grandson, they must have been kids at that point in time. But they are interested in animals.
Oh.
And I take all these animals just on their birthday parties and show it there. You know? That sort of a thing. So it was take. 2008, I got an opportunity to do a course which was offered by American Federation of Aviculture. So, you know, I said I must, structured learning is something which I must undergo. So I did that. 2013, I cleared the second level of that course. It is known as AFA certification, and I am a certified aviculturist.
Certified Aviculturist. So
I think
could
I'm
you
the
just tell
only
us
one.
few words about American Federation of Aviculturists?
Yeah, AFA, it's a federation of so many other. It's a parent body sort of a thing.
So
And,
what do they work on basically? How the body works?
See, initially when they started, there were people who used to breed different kinds of birds. So it was an umbrella organization from which brought together
So all
the people,
like-minded people will
like-minded
come under
people.
single
And
umbrella.
They were different. Yeah, they were different clubs. you know.
Yes, yes.
So all these clubs would send their representative to this federation.
This was a registered federation?
Yeah, it is a registered
Do
federation.
we have any such federations in India?
I don't think we have any such registered
We
federation.
need to have such registered federation.
In fact,
What do you think about it?
It's a need of the hour. I mean, we do have, Pet Lovers Association and some other bodies are also there. But they are more of a regional thing rather than
Regional, yes. Going on a broad
national
spectrum.
body. Or in fact, there is ample scope to have smaller bodies. I think Bombay doesn't still have a club.
Bombay doesn't have it all. Bombay being a hub, people own so many birds in Bombay, yet we don't have such a registered or say an umbrella where all the people who are like-minded,
Correct.
keeping varied varieties of birds, and they are sharing equal thoughts.
Correct.
They are coming under single umbrella, but I think something or the other, or say some issues coming between. People don't have time.
Probably, yeah. There
Mostly
could be
that.
multiple factors. There could be multiple, but I think that can be sorted out. Somebody needs to work
Slowly,
slowly.
now
Yeah.
what happens is small bodies are having their own meetups.
Correct.
In those meetups, they are sharing each other's thoughts, they are sharing each other's problems,
Correct.
and problem solving is happening. But
Right.
people need to think in a varied variety, a vast, have a vast, what do you call it, the thinking,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
yeah.
can,
Yeah, they have
have a
to-
vision.
Rise above few things.
Yes.
And then in the larger interest they have to work. I mean,
Okay.
we had Sanjeevan.
Sanjeevan,
Yeah.
okay.
Where one of the finest aviculturists I've seen.
And the oldest mostly.
He had a role. This American Federation. Before I talk about Sane, I'd like to talk about this American Federation. See, over a period of time, now their concentration has gone on to conservation.
Conservation, okay.
Because
Yeah,
that is the
they are
main-
done with their own breeding and having fun and
Because
following the
it's
passion.
a very,
It's a very old federation. Definitely,
So
yes.
now they have got support, they have got financial resources. It's see, we don't realize, but financial resources are essential.
Very essential.
Very
that
essential if you want to run an organization and do some concrete work.
Yeah.
If you really want to contribute. I don't know, somehow people in India have a feeling that the club should not be charging them, it should be all free. I don't know where that
This thinking is different. That the thinking about it is like the club has to have some sort of fees, so that the club can propagate and grow, so that all like-minded people can eventually put in their own selves into the club and give their own bits. That is how they give their own bits. They don't understand that.
See, the thing is, club will require good management, and a good aviculturist may not be a good manager. So obviously you will have to hire a manager.
Hire a manager, yes. There has to be a body which needs to be hired.
Correct.
The person who is into the club cannot do everything at once.
Exactly.
Understandable.
See, I tried so many times to form a club. See, my interest now in last 10 years, my interest has been budgies. So I'm into genetics of budgies. Fortunately, I got connected with some of the Australian bodies, and Australia being the country of origin for budgies, they have clubs which go back into 1930s, so 90-year-old clubs.
My God.
So some of their varieties are super mind-blowing, and I was fortunate to work with Don Burke.
I've heard of this person.
Yeah, Don Burke. He was a very famous personality.
Very
in his
famous
days.
indeed.
He used to run a program called Burke's Backyard.
Yes.
You know, and they had beautiful backyards, all sorts of trees growing, and he would be talking about it. So he is into so many things, and budgies is his passion. So I've been fortunate to interact with him. He's coming out with one book next year, which will be something. And he said in India I would be doing something with that book here.
Amazing.
That's
the news, guys.
So let's see how it works out, I mean. But probably I may translate it. We have not yet finalized anything. But probably for the larger audience, because he needs to reach out. He says, I have, put in around 60 years of work in budgies. So I need to, reach out to people and whatever my experience is. So since I know you a bit, I would like that, you find out some way to reach out to people. And I suggested that one of the ways would be to translate it.
Yes.
So he says, okay, I'm open to the idea. So let the book, my first edition, come out. You have a look at it and how we can work out. So we'll be doing that over a period. But in the meanwhile, I'm planning a club now, a budgie club.
Budgie club. Okay.
Maybe in a year's time I'll be ready. I'm working on the constitution and the standards and rules and regulations, because it's quite a complex thing.
It's going to be a nationwide spread out nationwide.
Yeah. I'll start locally.
Okay.
Then
slowly and gradually
probably. Yeah. People can.
Okay.
But I've been doing some programs. I mean, last week I had a program in Bhavnagar where I talked to people. I don't know. Somehow people are very reluctant. They feel that Dr. Mayur is not approachable. Nigam is not approachable. I don't know why. See that we would not know that people want to talk to us. Right. We will not know.
We wouldn't
In
know.
fact, we are
Unless
always eager.
Exactly. We need questions to come to us. That is what we
Can
wait
I
for.
help you?
Yes. We love questions.
Yeah. So maybe when this program goes on air or YouTube, you can put my number and
definitely.
ask
I will be sharing everything about you
ask
and your
people
contacts.
to get in touch with
He's
me.
approachable. He's ready to give you answers.
No
He's
issues.
available
You can ask me all
the
sorts of
time.
questions.
Yes. Half of them are from me.
See, sometimes it so happens that I may not take your call immediately for some reason, but that's fine.
I mean,
I'll get
time
back
frame.
to you.
In that time only you can call or WhatsApp.
Yeah. Weekends
He will reply
generally is a
whenever he
good
gets
time. Weekends is a good time
Yeah.
to talk to me. So we can do that.
Definitely, yes.
So since 2013, of course, we are here at Bhavan's Nature Adventure Center.
Okay, I would like to take a second. I would like to thank Mr. Himanshu. Himanshu sir, he is in Bhavan's Nature Club. Okay, he's been here working and amazing infrastructure. He has created a lot of greeneries around in the middle of the city, and people do not know about this. This is Bhavan's Nature Club.
Nature Adventure
Nature
Center.
and Adventure Center in Andheri West. You would not even know that this is an Andheri, guys. Look around. Show them around the place, please. This is some kids party going on. They have this adventure section. A lot of greeneries around. You can come here. You can just look around. They have animals as well. I'm not going to share the animals. You have to come here and see. There's a lake over there. And we are in nature.
We have
We are
1,500 trees.
1,500 species of trees?
Species are 350
350 species and 1,500 trees planted in this section over here in Andheri, Bhavan's Nature and Adventure Club.
By the way, we have got, because of this large trees, we have got those what you call hornbills. Grey
Hornbills coming here.
They
Grey
come here
hornbills.
regularly.
They're coming here. I heard once
White-
they bred here once.
Yes, we had baby chicks
That's
on
it.
that
They
side.
had baby chicks of hornbills in the middle of the city. You wouldn't even get to know that.
We have thrush, we have pittas, we have golden orioles, and lots of
Lot
such
of-
birds
lot of-
coming.
All the nature. See,
And
basically nature is thriving
I'm a
in the city.
consultant to them,
Yes.
on the
On the animal
part.
section, yes.
Animal section. They've got
Nigam
an animal section
Sir,
where kids get to interact
So
with animals.
it is a knowledge which is given and shared with the kids in the school, so that they know everything is not in the books. Everything is available right here, so they can come and see them face to face, experience the the feel of the animals, looking at them and appreciating the beauty of the animals straight up front without looking into the or reading their names. Everything is given here. They're available all the time. You can approach Mr. Himanshu.
You can look for Bhavan's Nature Adventure Center on Google or internet, and
Yeah,
we
they are on
have
the
many
Facebook
programs.
also, so you can.
Facebook also we are here, and we have round the year programs.
Round the year programs. It is beautiful in here, guys. You should come and just appreciate this beauty once in your life, otherwise your life is a waste. Okay, so coming back to the session, next question is what are your thoughts regarding we cannot call it primitive, but what are your thoughts regarding the aviculture back in your days, like say 70s and 80s, and modern aviculture as we call it?
Yeah, I mean, see.
I mean, what is the difference, the passion that you see?
I'll tell you one thing. We can say India is the mother of aviculture.
Right.
Because the first bird to be domesticated was by Indians.
Oh.
So it was the red jungle fowl which got domesticated, and today all the chickens varieties, whatever the variety may be, they are all the descendants of
Oh, those jungle fowls.
red jungle fowl.
Red jungle fowl.
Okay, so we can say, and of course, if you go through some Sanskrit literature, you will find that mynas and parrots speaking in Sanskrit. And,
Oh my God.
all those references are there. In fact, I started a course which, of course, did not receive much response, because probably it was because I had done it in a local language, Gujarati. Gujarati is my mother tongue,
Okay.
so I thought I had to do something for the people of Gujarat, and I felt indebted to the language also. My father was a poet. He used to write poetry in Gujarati. So I said I'll pay a tribute to him. So I crafted out a course on aviculture, which of course a couple of dozen people did take. Okay. So in that I have detailed everything, how the agricultural history.
Oh, the history of agriculture.
Yeah. In fact, in 1600 something, we had dodos in Surat.
Oh,
Just imagine.
wow. Do you have any is it written by you in the books? Do we have it available for the people or the viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you the references where I got it from, because I had to do a lot of research.
Research, of course.
Because all this
You made
is,
it easily available for the people.
Yes, yes.
People
yes,
should
yes.
get an access
Yes,
to it.
yes. In fact, I would say, I have a chapter in English, so there also, which I have just, copied, because I did not want to interfere with any of the. So I have just put it verbatim there and translated it later in Gujarati. So yeah, next time we are together, remind me. I'll get you a copy of, or I'll send you the copy of the book. Okay? So in that, in 1925, they are talking about blue Alexandrian parrots.
Wow.
So we
Back
had
then.
them in 1925. So of course, 70s, as I said, I started late 70s, but 80s I have seen aviculture. In those days, mostly Indian species were there. Then of course, budgies were there, and some canaries were there. In 1970s, we had a canary club in Bombay. and Police Commissioner of Bombay was a member of that club.
Oh,
I think Mr. Radha would be able to tell you more about it.
I would like to.
Yeah,
get an
because
access
he
to
was
him.
into canaries and
Yes, we all know that.
So he knew about all these things. But slowly somehow it faded out and nobody knows the history. We really, I mean, if I had more time, I would dig out and for that book, of course, I dug out a lot of things. So that was there, and it's mentioned, what are the kind of birds he had in 1920s and 30s. But here in Crawford Market has been a very big hub of bird trade always, and we had fancy chickens, in fact Polish. I even at one point in time I even got home my
You can't just see them. You have to get polish caps.
yes, and in the middle of the night they will crow, and then neighbors say, "What is this?" So I had a fair share of my adventures. But in 70s, yes, budgies were quite common. Canaries were there. Golians, on and off, you used to get, but spice finch, red-headed divets, Bengalis, then you had cockatiels also.
So if you put it all together, only medium to small sized birds were
Largely
kept by people.
Largely. Once in a while you would get to see, South American those,
Species. Okay.
like Amazons, yellow nape, double yellow nape and things like that. But larger parrots, I think mostly greys and cockatoos were there. Because African greys were quite common, and they were not that expensive also.
Acha.
I think they used to get smuggled in 70s. And
At that point of time, we didn't have local breeders who would provide us.
They were not breeding. But yes, I do have a reference to African greys breeding somewhere in 1948, 47. There in my book. I don't often remember things, but there were people who used to be, and they were known as Zanzibar Popat.
What?
Zanzibar Popat. Zanzibar is a port in Africa.
Okay.
So from there they
used to smuggle it. Okay.
Smuggle it, and they used to come here. So they were known as Zanzibar Popat. Not very many people know about these,
small things.
Small things. Why it was named like that, and but this small thing has a history.
Yes.
It's interesting to find out about more. So, yes.
And now coming to the modern aviculture, wherein you see the variety, the colors that we have. Now people are just running behind high-end birds. Like according to me, high-end birds, according to the our generation, as we call it, everybody is running behind macaws and cockatoos and African greys. Nobody is appreciating the small birds, say budgies, for an instance. They don't want to appreciate the beauty of a small wild green budgie. Okay, and do you think any sort of conflict that is there in between thoughts about the people, about the birds which people are having, is it about a show off, or is it about a royalty that we want to show that we are keeping big birds, large birds, or is it just monetary basis?
I think largely it was driven by monetary considerations. Largely. Of course, after a point in time, it becomes a status symbol.
Status symbol, exactly, yes.
I mean, if you have one pair of blue and gold or 10 pair of blue and gold, it doesn't matter. Right?
It doesn't matter.
Then
but fellow breeders will look at him like he's breeding blue and gold, for
he's
example.
breeding blue and gold, and he's an authority, though he may not be. And he may not even be visiting his aviaries every day. Mostly it is being done by the people down the line,
Definitely.
Somebody
else. You don't even know how to keep the bird.
Yeah. But then that message goes out. The wrong message, I would say. But nevertheless, people feel that, he's an expert, he has got 20 pairs of macaws and he's doing this and he's doing that. But it is largely money driven.
Yes.
Largely money driven. Even in budgies, you have a new mutation and people pay 1 lakh of rupees, 2 lakh rupees. Yesterday only somebody told me that he got 3 lakhs for a pair of budgies. I said, my.
Now coming this and saying this to a layman person, वो तो बोलेगा अरे 250 रुपए में मिलता है मार्केट में, तुम 1.5 लाख रुपए जब.
No, see, it has its own value. See, the thing is, you know, a breeder should always add value to whatever he is breeding.
Yes.
You know, he should not be degrading.
Definitely.
And this is something, you know, it's very difficult to, do it in a very short span of time or interview like this. But yes, when we have a formal structure like club or something, we could probably, you know, arrange classes,
Yes.
regular classes, or, you know, 5 sessions, 3 sessions, and explain things to people, that how things work, what is the importance of mutation, how it can be, you know, taken further. But at the same time, I always, you know, I've been associated with not only this place but even other organizations like Bombay Naturalist Society and all. But conservation plays a very important part. So I always say, okay, bird here is fine, but you must also contribute to conservation.
Conservation,
Now,
definitely.
it doesn't necessarily mean that you contribute in a direct way. Yeah? So even budgies can be used for educating people.
Definitely.
Okay, this is how budgies live in the wild. This is how, you know, the related species. Then you can go on to something else which is endangered, like gaulians.
Right.
So gauls are on threat of, under the threat of extinction. They share the same habitat, and then you can, so if you talk to people like this, you know, when they see the bird and all, they are more empathetic towards the animals and all, and you can drive home the message in a much better way.
Definitely, yes. So, coming to the end of it, what is your message for our beginners or say passionate bird keepers?
Passionate, yes, one has to be passionate, I would say. If you are not passionate, please don't keep, because bird keeping involves a lot of physical work, you know, the cleaning part, the feeding part, you know, looking after the bird. You must, everybody who wants to keep birds must spend at least an hour every day, at least an hour, I'm saying. If you can spend more time, good. Look at your birds. You should be enjoying it. If it becomes a task, no point. No point. Please don't keep birds if you feel that it is a monetary consideration. It can make a good business provided you know it's a livestock.
Definitely.
Livestock has its own inherent risk.
Yes.
So it's not going to be, you know, like your share market where, you know, you have a cycle where, you know,
Nowadays people think I'll get a pair for like $200-300. I'll just breed them.
Yeah. No,
It's
that
very easy
doesn't
breed, and I'll
that
double
doesn't
it, triple it. It does not happen.
It does
you
not
should
happen.
enjoy cleaning your shitty trays also. It's
Correct.
a part of aviculture. You should have fun
Very
with it.
important part.
If you enjoy that, you are a true passionate aviculture. If you don't enjoy that, it's not for you.
In fact, poop is something, you know, which is a good indicator of the health of the bird.
Yes.
Doctor would be a much better.
We will come to that on the health aspect when we have more sessions with Nigam Sir.
Yeah.
But point being, he in a nutshell, all he wants to say is you have to be thorough regarding your passion. You know, just keeping birds and breeding them is not a thing.
Correct.
It's a
Every
book. It's
time
not
you
just
must
a page.
add little bit value. Whatever little value, you must add that value to the next generation.
Yes.
And you will have fun. I'm telling you, it's very, very rewarding hobby.
Exactly.
If you take it as a hobby,
When
it's
you
very
see babies in the box and the way they grow and the way the parents are feeding the babies, it's another level. It's therapeutic. It's basically, aviculture is basically therapeutic. It's changing your, you know, daily stressful routine to a very calm and, you know, what do you call
in
it?
fact, abroad, it is offered as a therapy.
It is a therapy.
Budgies are very often taken to old age homes, hospitals, you know, challenged kids.
Yes,
and all
yes,
that
yes.
thing.
It is used that also. So, sir, thank you so much
Thank
for
you
having
very
us.
much. It was
And
nice talking to
hopefully,
you.
this is just the start of this series. We are going to have a series of sessions, and in that, we will be coming. In that, we will be coming up with more, complex subjects and topics, wherein we will be getting into the mutations and genetics He is the father. I would call him the father of genetics.
Not that.
Yeah, for us at least.
I have been a
Minor
student of
problem, sir.
genetics
इधर
for
feather
20
का
years
color
now.
yellow नहीं आ रहा है. He will tell you why that feather का color is not yellow in your bird, and in future progeny you will get that feather yellow. And mark my words, you will get it if you follow this guy's advices, follow his books, follow his literature, follow everything that he says. 45 years of aviculture experience is not a small thing. He has given his work to aviculture. He's been there around birds for a longer period of time, and I will try to get as much knowledge as possible from him and share it with you guys. And I'll see you in the next episode of Talks with Nigam Sir, or say chat with our very old friend Mr. Nigam Sir. And stick around, hang around. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Dr. Madhu.
Being with us.
Nice talking to you. Yeah, look forward to talking to you again.
Yes.
Chalo, thank you.
So see you in the next episode. Thank you so much. Bye.